Hi everyone, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. I'm going to give you guys a comparison between the iPad 3 and the Kindle Fire for this video review. So let's just start out with the most obvious difference, the size. So I've got this steampunk skin on my Kindle, so that's why it looks weird. But the iPad's about twice the size of the Kindle Fire. You can fit just about 2 Kindles exactly on the iPad. The iPad's got the 9.7 inch screen, the Kindle's got the 7 inch screen, so the Kindle's a lot more portable and pocketable in that regard. So the iPad also has a higher resolution screen. It's got the Retina screen, so it's got about 160 or about 264 pixels per inch, and the Kindle Fire's got about 169 pixels per inch. The iPad's got a little bit brighter colors, a little bit deeper colors, and then the text is sharper than it is on the Kindle Fire. But that's not saying really anything bad about the Kindle Fire. It's still a nice screen, still got nice text, easily readable text. So the iPad is just like a super screen with the new high resolution Retina display right now, so that's definitely one advantage for that. Okay, so with hardware, the iPad's definitely got some more advantages as well. So I have this written review right here that I'm going to kind of follow along with over at the ebookreader.com, and so I can remember some of this stuff. So the iPad, it has the 1 GB of RAM, and then the Kindle has 512 megabytes of RAM. The iPad has the option for 4G wireless, so if you want to get internet on the go, you got the 4G option, and you also have Bluetooth with the iPad. So the Kindle, it just has Wi-Fi, it doesn't have any Bluetooth. The Bluetooth is nice for listening to headphones. You got the wireless headphones or wireless speakers, and you can connect keyboards and stuff like that with Bluetooth. So it's got some advantages in that regard, and it's also got the front and rear facing cameras. The Kindle Fire doesn't have any cameras, but when it comes right down to it, they can do a lot of the same things. You've got you can get web browsing, email, also got the videos and the music, of course. They can do a lot of the same things, but some of the subtle differences here. So let me point out some of the differences we've got here. So this is the home screen on the iPad. What you can do with that is you can drag stuff, like I have all these book apps right here. You can just drag stuff together and create folders essentially. And then you can also, with the iPad's interface, we've got the home button, and if you hit the home button twice, you get your recent apps list here, so you can jump between recent apps. And we've got our brightness and volume over here, and it also has volume buttons. The Kindle doesn't have actual volume buttons. You access that up here with the quick menu. We've got the volume up here. The Kindle doesn't have any sort of recent apps list. The home screen carousel here is sort of your recent apps list, because it just shows everything you've recently had open, and it puts them all on a list right here. So this is the main home screen on the Kindle Fire. You can't actually drag anything together like you can with the iPad. You can't group your apps, but you can put them down here into the favorites menu, or your favorite shelves. You can put a whole bunch of favorite icons down here. You can keep building on it down there. So with the Kindle, we've got the different kind of layout here. We've got the it runs Android, but Amazon created it to look like their own. We've got the different sections up here, and this is the home button. We use these for navigation. You got the home and back, and with the iPad, you just you use the navigation, the quick navigation, the gestures. So if you're in the browser, for instance, you can go to different apps just like that. And it also closes those by going like that. So with the Kindle, it's a little bit different setup. We've got the buttons down here for menu, back, and the home button. Like I said, we've got our different categories up here for video, docs, and apps. So when it comes to apps, the Kindle, I would say, has a definite advantage in the fact that Amazon gives away a free paid app every day. I've gotten hundreds of apps from Amazon just by getting these free paid apps every day. So literally over $1,000 in free apps. The iPad, you don't really get the free app every day type of deal. So you're definitely going to be spending more money as far as apps go on the iPad. But the apps on the iPad tend to work better. From my experience, they look better and work better. The same kind of apps. Like a lot of the apps are the same on both platforms. And it just seems to be like Apple's platform usually has a little bit more polish, whereas Android app platform, you're going to get more free apps. It just seems like there are more free apps available, and you actually have the option for that free paid app every day, so that's a definite benefit. So here's another thing with the Kindle. You can also install Go Launcher if you want more of a traditional Android home screen, and you've got your apps in here. So that's kind of a different thing with the Kindle. That doesn't require rooting or anything, but I do have mine rooted, and I have the Android Market installed, so I can get apps through Google. So that's one of the benefits with the Kindle Fires. You can sideload apps, you can get apps from different sources, whereas the iPad, you're just going to be getting apps from Apple, of course. So let me go ahead and move on to some of these other details here. So the iPad, when it comes to battery life, it's got a better battery life. You can get about 10 hours out of the iPad. The Kindle's got about 7 to 8 hours battery life. The iPad's also got a microphone. The only way you're going to get a microphone on the Kindle is if you use like headphones that have microphones, and then you can do that. So with the carousel here, you can remove stuff from the carousel and remove it from the device as uninstalling it. So let's go ahead and compare the e-reading aspects of these two devices. I'll open up iBooks and open up this public domain title for this video, and here we go. So this is kind of a look at the e-reader apps. The iPad has the fancy page animations. The Kindle, it just does the slide page turns. When it comes down to features, they're very comparable. You got the on-screen notes, highlights. You got some searching options. And with the iPad, you've got the same sort of deal. You got the on-screen dictionary. We've also got the copy and paste and the search options as well. Got the TOC. So with the Kindle, we've got the menu button here. Tap in the center, hit menu, and we get the other options. Got your list of notes and highlights. So one thing with the Kindle is you can send ebooks and personal documents to your Kindle Fire, and you can have them synced on Amazon. You can have them show up on here. You can sideload DRM-free ebooks into the iPad. There's no way to send it to it wirelessly, so that's kind of one benefit with the Kindle. So you got the wireless option. We've obviously got the different font sizes, the different themes. So the Kindle has the same sort of deals right here. It's got the sepia as well. Different font sizes, different line spacing options. We've also got the brightness obviously in here as well. Different typefaces. Both of them have different typefaces. So actually the e-reading apps between them are pretty comparable. The Amazon App Store, from my experience, books are going to be cheaper at the Amazon App Store, and they also have a lot more books than the iPad's App Store or iPad's ebook store. So there are some differences in that regard. You can obviously put Amazon ebooks. You can get the Amazon ebooks onto here as well. There's a problem in that it doesn't let you shop or do anything from the iPad, however. So you have to use the web browser if you want to shop any books, because Apple made everybody get rid of their stores inside the app. You can use the Kindle Cloud Reader, but I never really cared for it. It's kind of slow. So there are some workarounds with using the iPad, because they don't want you buying ebooks within the app. So with the Kindle, you can sideload other ebook apps as well, but Amazon makes it so that they don't show up in the App Store, so you have to sideload the other apps. You can sideload Nook in here, you can sideload Aldico, all these other e-reader apps, and then you can read EPUB apps on the Kindle Fire as well, just like you can on the iPad. So it's just a little bit trickier with the because you have to sideload the apps on the Kindle, but at least they allow you to shop for the books within the apps. So a couple other differences here. We've got the notifications bar up here for Amazon. The Apple has sort of the same deal where your emails and your all your notifications will show up here. Okay, when comparing the web browsers between the two of these tablets, the iPad uses the Safari browser. Actually, you can go to the app stores and you can get like the exact same browsers on both of these, the Dolphin browser, the Opera browser. But let's just go ahead and look at the stock browser. So this is the Amazon Slick browser. They created it just for the Kindle Fire. We've got the same sort of features, obviously, with the double tapping and the pinch zooming. As you can see, it's smoother on the iPad. As we've got the hold down, you can copy, you can move the little arrows to copy and paste. We've got the on the iPad, you've got this cool little dictionary that pops up, so you don't have that on Android devices. We do have the copy and paste. If you want to hold something down, you can drag the little cursors and then just tap that to copy. So if you want to preview a link, you can hold down on it, get the different options. Same deal with the iPad. We've got the one cool thing with the iPad is it has the reader. Let's go ahead and load up the same page on both of these just to see which one loads it the fastest. Okay, the iPad definitely has the major advantage in that regard. What's cool about the iPad's web browser, it has this little reader. So if you hit this, it just pops up the reader and it includes the videos and the pictures still. So that's kind of a cool thing. You got the different text sizes. You just hit on the fly right there. So it's kind of a cool thing with the Safari web browser. With the iPad or the Kindle's browser, we've got full screen mode right there. We've got the bookmarks, are kind of a more visual layout. You got thumbnails of each image, whereas the iPad is just a list of your icons right there. So that's just sort of a look at the web browsers on both of them. The Kindle is definitely more suited for landscape mode, I feel like. We've got some different options in here for bookmarks, sharing pages, history, downloads. So we've got some different settings in there. Same goes with the iPad. Okay, so when it comes to e-reading and comics and stuff, the two devices have a lot in common. You can get the exact same apps on both of them pretty much. So when it comes to these kind of comics, obviously the bigger screen of the iPad is going to be a little bit better, but I mean that's not really taking a lot away from the Kindle because you can still read the text balloons just fine. With these type you can go in and do the guided mode as well. So if you wanted to do landscape mode, for instance, instead of the whole page at once. So yeah, that's sort of a thing with the iPad. Obviously with a bigger screen, it's more set up for the natural layout of a comic. But I mean, you can still read them just fine on the Kindle. As you can see, the iPad is definitely smoother with scrolling. Okay, the two devices obviously come with a lot of the same features. You've got YouTube, you've got video playing, you've got music, so the Kindle has those sort of deals right there obviously as well. They both come with free cloud storage, like you got 5 GB free with Apple, you got 5 free GB with the Kindle, so you can stream your music or videos from the cloud, use it that way to save space on the device, because obviously you have limited space with both of these. Neither of them have memory card slots, so the iPad, this is the 16 GB model, and I'm down to about 8 GB of space right now, and I really have no content on this thing. So it definitely seems to eat up more space with the apps on the iPad. The Kindle, it has very limited space too. It only comes with 8 GB, and you got about 6 GB usable space, so that's why Amazon's pushing their cloud a lot with the Kindle Fire. I actually use the Kindle Fire for a gaming device a lot with these games, as you can see on here. The iPad, it's got the higher resolution, and it's got some faster processing power for graphics, so it definitely has the edge in hardcore gaming. But that's not really taking a whole lot from the Kindle, because I've been playing a lot of games, as you can see on here. Dead Space works well, it's kind of comparable to this game, but obviously the graphics are going to be a lot better. It's going to be smoother on the iPad because you got more processing power for graphics. So that does have the edge if you want to be hardcore gaming. The iPad definitely has the edge in that regard. The iPad's major edge, in my opinion, is like education and business use. You've got a lot more apps for learning. There's a lot more sort of kids apps too, it seems like, for if you just for educational use on the iPad's platform than there is on the Android platform right now. You can get some stuff on Android, but if you really want to use the education purposes for the device, you definitely probably want to go with the iPad, or for business use. So I kind of feel like the Kindle is more of a content consuming device than creation, whereas the iPad, you got more options for creating content. You've just got better options in the whole education department as a whole. One of the major benefits with the Kindle is you've got the file system, so you can come in, and it's just a little bit easier when you have file navigation like this. You can come in and add different files, move files. With the iPad, you don't have any kind of folder system whatsoever, so everything's just sort of like automatic. When you add stuff to the iPad, it's supposed to associate whatever that file is with whatever app it works with, so you don't really have any options at all for file management. With the Kindle, you can install ES File Explorer like right here, and you can manage your files that way. Okay guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this review right now. Check out the ebookreader.com. I have the written review for additional information right here. I just didn't want to cover everything in this video because it gets too long. So you got the advantages and disadvantages right here, and some additional information with the specs. So check that out, and thank you for watching.